welcoming our patron and chief guest for the International Human Resource Conference, His Excellency Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, UAE Cabinet Member and Minister of Tolerance and Coexistence. I would like to welcome all of you to the International Human Resource Conference.
Expressing gratitude to Blue Ocean for organizing and presenting this timely conference.
To present us with more insights on biohacking, please join your hands together to welcome into the stage our next speaker, Dr. Sajeev Nair, founder of Limoverse.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here on the IHRC, and the topic on which I wanted to talk, maybe in the panel discussion also, some of you, some people came and asked a few questions about technology, and so this is also again something very unique, like biohacking. The moment somebody hear about biohacking, putting some inserts, maybe the chips and all those kinds of stuff. So I just wanted to put it very simple. My background has been peak performance. I've been a peak performance coach for the last 2 decades. Have done thousands and thousands of big conventions and events. And primarily, I started my journey, if you look at it, as a motivational speaker. I'm trained by Dr. Richard Bandler in the NLP. So I started my journey like that. Later on, I started realizing one thing, that most of the normal motivational kind of training programs, the impact is only for about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Sometimes if you are so effective, it can be for a month. After that, it generally normalizes. I'm not saying that for everybody. Some people really pick something out of it and then they just move on. And you always want your employees to be happy. You always want your employees to have high energy levels, high productivity, peak levels of performance, no absenteeism. These are the ideal situations any HR head or CEO of a company look for. And there are no shortcuts, we know that. Most of the time we work on the mind, we work on the kind of thought processes. That's where in 2006, 7, 8, during that time I did a research. That work is called thought process re-engineering. Based on that, I started doing some workshops for corporates and also entrepreneurs. But of late, I started realizing that it's not just the brain. If the brain has to function absolutely phenomenally well, you need to have the right kind of body also. The right kind of physiology only leads to right kind of psychology, like my friend right now spoke about the cognitive capabilities. And I strongly believe that at the moment, that's very, very important. And cognitive capabilities are so crucial, especially at this point of time when the speed is unbelievable. But at the same time, you need to have the body also to back you up, and the brain, I would rather say, it has to synchronize and work together. Happiness, people go to different types of happiness, workshops. And this is one country which is actually giving a lot of importance to happiness. Maybe one of the very few countries where you have a ministry for happiness. And when I say that, when I look at happiness, I would rather look at one particular aspect of happiness, which is some of you, nowadays most of the people are familiar with this particular neurochemical called serotonin. And if you have a higher levels or lower levels of serotonin, you have an imbalance. Now the point is, how can I have a balanced serotonin? How can I have a balanced dopamine, which is actually your mood, which manages your mood? So these kind of questions are always there. And I have even seen that people, they want to stay motivated. They want to stay happy, but at the same time, they cannot for some or other reasons. And if I tell them that, maybe that your gut may be the problem, most of the people may not understand that. Gut, I'm talking about my brain, because my brain is not functioning properly. But your brain may not function properly when your gut is not functioning properly. The problem could be that your bacteria inside your gut. When you have got close to about 60 to 70 trillion cells in your body, you have got more than 100 trillion bacteria inside your gut. And if they are not functioning, or if wrong bacteria are there, I would rather say bacteria means any microbiomes, it can actually create problems. Serotonin, just I'm giving one example, and with that I just wanted to make you think about it. How important it is when it comes to physiology of employees. I have got one of my clients, a company, based on some of the suggestions, they even changed the diet plan for their employees. And they started giving extremely great response on, results into profitability. That is what we call it as mental and physical health. Enhancement of that will lead to human productivity, which leads to ultimately higher profitability for the company. This happiness chemical, what I talk about as a serotonin, which comes from something called an amino acid called L-tryptophan. I'm not trying to teach you biology, but just to understand. And these L-tryptophans come from your food. One of our favorite food has got it. Chicken has got a lot of L-tryptophan. But to extract L-tryptophan from chicken, you need to have a particular bacteria inside your gut. If that is not there, it can affect your L-tryptophan, which can affect your serotonin levels, which can affect your happiness. So, can you connect happiness with your gut? Yes. Can you connect depression with your gut? Yes. Can you connect energy levels with your gut? You want your employees to be highly energetic. What is the easiest way, or what is the fastest way to be energetic? What is the best way to be energetic? How can somebody be highly energetic? I think the best way to keep people energetic is move your body. If you sit for some time, for a longer period of time, your energy comes down. The moment you start moving your body, you can start seeing that your energy flows. So the key point, what I wanted to communicate to you is that we are all focused on one thing. That is, we wanted to have higher profitability for the organization. We know that which will be achieved only by higher productivity from our employees, and higher productivity where wellness, or rather the health, mental and physical health of the employees play a major role. That's where from normal motivational speaking, I moved on to the peak performance coaching and then to transformational coaching. And right now we work very heavily on an intense subject called Human Potential Enhancement Studio, where what we are talking about pure science. That's where what we do in Limoverse. Limoverse is a blockchain-based metaverse which we are creating right now, where we are talking about, or this is considered to be, or can be considered as the metaverse for well-being, metaverse for productivity, metaverse for higher levels of performance for human beings. That's what we are looking at. That's where our chairman, Mr. Ashish, was talking about human verse. I would rather say that we are actually working really on that project where we are actually connecting the metaverse with the human potential. So that's exactly we are working on here. You can see there the superior physical mental health leads to higher human productivity and higher profitability. So this is a big topic, and we start that with the concept called biohacking. Biohacking is very simple, hacking your own biology, hacking your own body and mind. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Even simple steps. When you go to West, you can hear a lot of other things like, inserting the chips and all those kinds of stuff, which is generally, we call it as a concept called grinding, not biohacking. The pure biohacking is simple things. I have even written a book on the making of the superhuman, which has got about 220 biohacking techniques. So starting from a biohacking, to start your journey, you need to know your code. We start from decoding your information from your DNA, and based on that, there is an entire program we develop, and ultimately we execute it and make sure that each and every employee has got higher levels of productivity, performance, and that leads to higher levels of profitability for the organization. So what I recommend is that if you can show on the screen as a last note, you can see that there is if you wanted to know more about what we do and how you can actually enhance that, if you can show that slide. Okay. So you can see that QR code. You can actually scan that QR code, and we have the information inside that. So it will lead to your page, and which you can actually get more information about what we do, because it's very scientific in terms of enhancing the productivity and performance of human potential so that corporates, companies, businesses can be highly profitable. Thank you so much. Scan the QR code and we can connect. I'm here around.
Thank you, Dr. Sajeev.